Hello everyone and welcome to Scrap Mechanic. Now here is a game that I have had my eye on for quite some time. This game is like a cross between Minecraft, Terraria, and there's a whole level of engineering that goes into it as well. And I've been really excited today. I've been given like early access to the game to share with all of you. It comes out on January the 20th and at the moment the game is in creative mode only. Now when survival hits I'm not 100% sure, but we can talk about that in a moment. We're going to jump into the game and we're going to build a very basic vehicle to show you the mechanics of the game, how to use the controls and stuff like that. So let's start a new game in creative and let's just give it a name. Suma, there we go, that's my name. Hello. By the way, if you're not familiar with me. Anyway, let's click on create and start a new world. Did you know that if you put two toilet paper rolls on top of each other, it will become a paper towel roll? Didn't know that was the official terminology, but there you go. So let's have a little read. Hi Mechanic, welcome to Scrap Mechanic Creative Mode. This is a great place to express your creativity and build the most amazing creations. Engineer, architect, both. Everything you need is already conveniently stacked in your inventory. That right there is the I button in brackets, the I button on your keyboard, just in case that looks a little confusing. A great way to start is by opening the Mechanics Handbook, which you'll find in your hotbar, and following the instructions for how to build a vehicle. It will help you get comfortable with the basic building system and will give you a great foundation on which to build your scrap mechanics skills. So in this video what we're going to do is have a little look around. First of all, we're going to talk about the game a little bit and I'm going to go over building a basic vehicle and talking about the controls a little bit, just so you get an idea of what this game is about. So first of all, the graphics look incredible. If you're watching this on YouTube, compression may have made it look a little bit worse, but basically we have some lovely looking textures and things in front of us, and as it goes off into the distance it blurs slightly, so you get that sense of depth in the world, which is really nice. Now I'm looking around myself for a little bit of a landmark, because when I played this before there are actually some buildings in this world, but I can't see them at the moment, and I think there might be one off in that direction. And I've opened the book that we have here. Let's have a look then. Mechanics Handbook right here, how to play. You can click on watch video to go over to YouTube and see their tutorials on the basics, which are pretty good actually, and you can see all of the controls right here. So you can jump, sprint and crouch as well. If we click on the next one, it's going to give you a guide on how to build a vehicle, and I'll go through this with you in the video as well. We'll build a basic little car to get around. This is the bearing. This is a part of what we'll use to make a car. We've got the lift over here. This is actually a really important little contraption right there. And then we've got the connect tool to connect things together. We have the driver's seat, the gas engine to make things go, and we've got thrusters as well, which I haven't actually played around with yet, so maybe we'll attach some of those to our car. Over here we've got triggers. You've got switches, buttons and sensors, ways of activating your contraptions, and then you have the controller, which is a way to link lots of different mechanisms together. So if any of that stuff interested you, you could of course pause the video and have a little read over yourself, but otherwise we're going to head off in this direction, and I'm going to zoom out here by holding down Alt and using the mouse wheel, and then we're going to hold down Shift to run. So you can play in third person mode, which I don't prefer, but every now and then it's nice to pop out and see your little character in the world. So I have no idea where we are actually. Each time I've spawned into a world, sometimes there's structures nearby, and this time it would appear there isn't. But there are things out there in the world to see. So while we're going on a little stroll in this direction, aha, yes, this looks familiar. Here we go, a sign, there's some sort of tank in the background. We'll head over towards that, and I'll tell you a little bit about survival mode. So the idea, we do all the work while you collect the profit. Yeah, those robots right there. The idea for survival mode is that this is an alien planet. We've come here on a spaceship. We've crash landed, and the place is full of robots, and we've got to use our engineering abilities to overcome that challenge of beating the robots. It sounds really cool. When it arrives, I have no idea, but there you go. And the robots don't like you being here, by the way. I haven't actually seen this bit before. Look, there's all sorts of cool stuff out here to find in the world, but this will be the place where we go and build our vehicle. And the way that we want to start off by doing that, let's get out of this third person mode, is with the lift. So we're going to put that down. That's going to be very important for building things. And I do want to show you the basics of placing down blocks. Now I think this sort of rivals Minecraft a little bit. It's very simple to build a wall. You just drag like so. You can drag upwards as well. And notice that this is one wide. If you want to go in a different direction, what you've got to do is press Q to rotate. So now we can sort of like build a roof for this little thing here, and then we can go across like that to build in that axis. So it's about pressing Q to rotate the axis. Now to remove, you hold down right click and you can drag once again, which makes things nice and easy. And you'll have to rotate though to remove things on the axis. So I think all of that is like very simple, very intuitive, and it kind of rivals Minecraft a little bit. However, it doesn't have quite the same building options yet. If we press I to look at our inventory here, you'll see that we've got a basic few blocks right here, 6 in total, and then everything else is more about detail and theme. And all of these look fantastic, by the way. Really cool things to give your buildings and contraptions and such a real nice mechanic engineering theme. But when it comes to the basic building blocks, there's only 6 at the moment, but I really think it could rival Minecraft if they had a whole bunch more. So anyway, let's talk about the lift right here. This is going to be extremely important for us. As you can see, you can put something on top of it, but then you can press up and down to move this thing up and down, funny enough. You can also stand on top of it yourself if you need to get up high, so the lift is useful for multiple things. There you go, now we're being lifted up with it. And the important thing to see here is that when you've built something, it's sort of not attached to anything on the world when you've built it on a lift. So when you remove the lift by right clicking, this thing's going to drop down, and then what you can do is grab your lift, you can click on it and lift it up and then sort of put it back down again. So when you're working with vehicles, this is extremely useful. Now what we're going to do next, I think, is actually go and have a look at one of the vehicles that I've already created, and I'll show you some of how that's put together after we've done that. So here we are in the other scrap mechanic world that I played in. There's one of those tanks, and here are some of the other structures. This kind of looks like a big old helipad right here. That's what it reminds me of. But anyway, let's check out my little vehicle right here. We're going to do some basic vehicle building in a moment, and I had a happy accident with this. I accidentally added 2 pivot points onto the back wheels, and they improve steering massively. So that's my tip for you if you are looking to build your own vehicle. Anyway, this thing right here, you can see it looks a little bit odd, right? Well, this is just me trying to have a bit of fun with it and make it look interesting, not just a plain old platform. And I think it looks alright, but it is definitely a derpy beginner's vehicle. So we've pressed E to get into the driver's seat right here. And when I show you how to build a basic vehicle, you'll see how all of this hooks up. We've got an engine at the back there as well. And this thing, it goes okay. It doesn't go too fast, but it falls over very easily. If I try and do a ramp or a jump, it will go upside down. And then we can pick it up with a lift, which is no hassle, of course. But this is it right here. And without that double pivot on the back, the steering was really quite awkward. So let's try and hit a ramp. It's very difficult for me. I'm not much of a driver. There we go. Actually, that was pretty good. That's probably the best takeoff I've done. And we landed successfully. Amazing. I was not expecting that. Usually I fail miserably. Anyway, let's get set up here and let me show you how to build a basic vehicle. Okay, disclaimer alert. What we're going to build will not look pretty, but it should be functional. And we're going to start off by adding some pivot points at the back here. So I built a little basic frame for our vehicle. Because it's on the lift, we can move it up and down. And we're going to put in 2 sets of pivot points. So I've raised the initial ones up a little bit. And we're not going to be adding suspension to this car, which is something I did on that one. I wanted to do things a little bit differently. So we've added our first pivot point, which means this right here can sort of rotate when it's attached to the one above. And I've selected the wrong material. Well, actually, let's just build it out of wood so we can see that it's separate. And then we're going to add another pivot point here so it can turn twice as often. And we'll go down 2 blocks again, and then we'll put another pivot point on the side. And that's going to be where the wheel goes. Now, that's a small wheel. We can actually get one that is a lot bigger. So let's follow what we did on that side over on here. We've got our 2 blocks, our pivot point, another 2, and then the pivot on the side. And there we go. That should be our rear wheel steering sort of sorted out. Of course, you could put the steering at the front if that's what you wanted to do. And then over here, we just need our pivots to really be on the side, actually. I was going to put some at the top, but no, that's not the way it works. So let's attach some blocks like so. We've got pivots on the side here. Notice that they're level with the ones at the back. And we're going to attach some wheels to it. So that's kind of the basics for your vehicle. Now all you've got to do is attach the engine, the seat for the driver, and we'll put that right there, and then you connect everything up. So there's the engine at the back. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? No, no, it doesn't. It looks pretty ugly, actually. But anyway, let's hook this all up. So we need our engine to be connected to the driver's seat. So we're going to drag from there to there. That means, or do we do it the other way around? Did I miss something here? Okay, I feel like such a dummy. Now, where I've been playing in this world, checking out all the things, when I put the stuff back into my inventory for building this, I actually picked out the wrong thing. So that was just a regular seat. What we want is the driver's seat. I had to go into a different world, try to rebuild this thing, and then I finally noticed it. So we've got to get rid of that. We need to rotate this so it's facing forward, and now we'll be able to connect these things together. Alright, so first of all, we want this to control the engine. That's great. Then we want the engine to control the wheels at the front, and we also want to make sure they're both rotating in the same direction. So this one's going forward, that one's going backwards. We right click it to make it go forward. Great stuff. And then what do we want to do next? We want to hook up this to the pivot points. So one to the top one and one to the bottom as well. Just make sure they all rotate in the same direction, which I think they do by default. So let's have a look. Take a step back, and yes, they're all going in the same direction. Now these ones we could actually hook up as well and have four-wheel drive, which is something I might mess around with, but we are actually now ready to drive this thing. So all we've got to do is press E to go. We press forward and, oh no, nothing happens. Do you know why? Because we've got to configure our engine. So we're going to, oh, we actually already put a little bit of speed on it, did we? Let's knock it up to about there and try that again then. And there we go. This time we actually go. So basic engine power, not really enough. Now, while I was trying to suss out why I couldn't make the connection between our driver's or passenger's seat and the engine, I messed around with my other one, and it just shot off into the distance. It started driving itself, and we're going to go have a little look for it. But there we go. Let's put a fair bit more into the gas engine. You do have to be careful, though. If you put too much power into it, it'll literally just fly off the ground and crash. And there we go. Oh, it doesn't feel that stable. Look at that. That's crazy. I'm not pressing left or right at the moment, but it is sort of holding a straight line, and it's probably my double pivot thing at the back that's responsible for that. And we found our other vehicle. It's crashed by the looks of it. I wonder if the engine is still rolling. Probably is. It probably is. Let's go. Oh god, this vehicle's terrible. We've made a bad vehicle. What did you expect? I'm no engineer. There we go. So we need to relink that connection basically from there to there. And there we go. We've saved it. So there they are, two very derpy vehicles, and that's going to be it from me in this video. If you've enjoyed it, please do leave a like. As always, thank you so much for your support on the channel here, and I do just want to say I'm really looking forward to this game. I wanted to make a first impression sort of video just so you guys could take a look at it and let me know what you think about it. So feel free to leave some feedback down below. What I'd like to know is what sorts of videos would you like to see on this? I think I might end up making some sort of contraption-based videos because I just want to spend some time goofing around in a world, you know, coming up with cool things that we can make in this game. So maybe something along those lines as opposed to a Let's Play. But anyway, feel free to leave your feedback down below in the comment box, and if you're new here on the channel watching this video for the first time, feel free to subscribe. There will be more Scrap Mechanic coming your way. Anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.